London.
One thing I would pick out is that London have been nilled every time the week after they've won a game so far this season. Now this week they're playing maybe not, I don't know, maybe not the best of the oppositions that they've had in those weeks. Salford, who seem to be going really well this year, and St Helens are the teams they played after the other wins. And they're at home this time, whereas those other ones were away. So I think they'll get some points, but I do think Hull will bounce back in this one, and I've gone for Hull by 30 points to 14 on that one. Okay, final game of the weekend. I will be at this one, and it is Salford Red Devils hosting my Wigan Warriors. Actually, my tickets should have come today, but I didn't see them through the door. Anyway.
Maybe Emma's hidden them.
Maybe my mum has. It's Mother's Day, isn't it, this weekend? Is that right? Or is it the week
No,
after?
it's Mother's Day the week after, the
Week after.
31st.
That's all right then. I don't have to worry. Okay, Salford versus Wigan, and I've gone Wigan to win by 10. I was a little bit buoyed by our last 20 to 30 minutes against Warrington, so I'm going to let all the off-field speculation and nonsense this week not be a distraction to the team, because one thing they do know, whether Sean Edwards is coming or not, is that Adrian Lamb's only got a 1-year deal, and if they keep playing the way that they're playing, he's only got to have a 1-year deal.
Maybe that's what they want.
Sorry?
Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they're hoping that Edwards will come sooner.
I don't think that they can. They don't seem to dislike Adrian Lamb. He might just be nicer to them than Sean Wayne was, so they're not getting G'd up enough. But I think there was positive signs in that last 40 against Warrington, so I'm going to go Wigan by 10. What about you?
I think Salford will beat you, or maybe I just hope Salford will beat you. So I've gone for Salford 20, Wigan 16.
It's not very nice. I deserve a win every now and again.
Yeah. You're playing Leeds at some point, aren't you?
We've already beat them.
Oh, well, there you go then. You'll play them again.
We'll have Rovers, but you'll want us to win that one.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Into the Championship then. The game of the week we pulled out this week is Bradford versus Leigh. This is two teams hovering around the sort of kind of fighting for the back end of the playoff spots with these teams, and so quite exciting. Leigh are scoring a lot of points at the moment and really making good use of their dual reg link up, so I fancy Leigh to go to Bradford and cause an upset to the home fans.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, into League One. The game of the week features two of the favourites for promotion before the season started. Both have had in and out results to start the season. It's Workington versus Dennis Betts' Newcastle. Where do you think this one will go?
I think it'll go to Workington. I think Leon Price has got a bit of stability there, although new coach coming in could swing it that way, but I'm just going to go for Workington.
Yeah, the only concern for me on Workington's point of view is they didn't have a full 17 to be able to put out last week against Siddle in the Cup, but I'm still backing Workington at home, with Newcastle maybe not quite adjusting to a new playmaker and a new coach as things are. But we shall see. That might be an exciting one to follow along. Right, into the NRL, where we picked out what games have some British representation, and Graham and Widdop come up against the Burgesses in the first game. Thursday, 8:50. I think this one is on Sky. The Dragons versus the Rabbitohs. We've got the Raiders versus the Storm to see if John Bateman can continue his sparkling start to the NRL. Friday, 7 a.m. on Sky, so have your breakfast with that one. And then the Sea Eagles play the Roosters. I've written it down, but Ryan Hall's not going to play, so he's not fit yet. So you never know. Maybe miraculous things might happen. Saturday, 8:35 a.m, but I don't expect Ryan Hall to be in that one. Make sure, though, if you are catching any of those games, you get your fan views in on the Google form so that we are able to share those on next week's show. SLP quiz time then to finish this 213th episode of the show. And given that we both saw so many yellow cards the games we were at this weekend, so with you seeing 4 and me seeing 3 yellow cards and 1 red card, I thought I would theme the quiz around sin binins.
Okay.
So the first question is which player has had the most Super League yellow cards since SLP began at the start of the 2014 season? I could give you a clue.
Go on then.
He has actually played for both Hull FC and Wakefield in his Super League career, so...
Is it Danny Brough?
It is Danny Brough, yeah. I'm sure people won't be too shocked to hear that. 9 times he's been sin binned since the start of 2014 in Super League games alone. And I'm sure he's been sin binned in some cup games too, hasn't he?
Probably.
Can't help himself. Okay, number 2. Which current Hull KR forward is the only player other than Danny Brough to have had 2 or more sin binnings in 3 or more seasons since the Super League pod began? The clue on this one is that his Super League career has taken in spells at Salford, Leeds, Widnes and Crusaders.
Salford, Leeds. What's his name?
And Cass, I think.
Salford, Leeds, Crusaders.
You're looking through the paper, aren't you?
I am looking through the paper because I can... No, I can't think.
Weller Hierarchy.
Yes.
And finally, which former Salford and Hull Kingston Rovers winger is the only player to have topped the list twice for most sin bins in a season since the Super League pod started?
Is that former Salford and former Hull KR?
That's right, yeah. Former both. No longer plays for either.
And a winger.
The tank on the flank.
Carney.
There you go, yeah. Justin Carney. 2 out of 3. That's better than recent efforts that we've all been putting up, isn't it?
Yeah. If I'd actually concentrated on Weller Hierarchy, yeah.
Well, to be fair, you have plenty of time to flick through the paper and run through the team list.
I know, but I could picture him and none of the names seem to match the picture.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about this week, Sarah? Any other business? Any recommendations?
Not a recommendation, but an advance warning. If anybody would like to come and see The Wizard of Oz in Hull, Luke is in it at the theatre, the main theatre in Hull, in June.
Is that the theatre that's the new one?
It's Hull New Theatre, yeah.
Behind the car park that our car got locked in?
No. That's Hull Truck Theatre.
Oh, right, okay.
Hull New Theatre's kind of the other side of the city centre.
Hull New Theatre. So when does Luke's run in The Wizard of Oz start?
The 18th of June.
18th of June. So that is one to get in your diaries for the summer. So what role is he in the?
He's part of the Lollipop gang of the Munchkins.
Excellent stuff. So if you is tickets on sale already for that?
Yes. So he does alternate performances. So he's doing the 18th, the 20th, and then the matinee of the 22nd.
Well, there you go, everyone. That's awesome. Thanks for flagging that out for us, Sarah. I'm sure plenty of the listeners who live around that side of the country will be able to get along, hopefully, and support Luke. That's awesome. I don't recommend getting the last train home from Manchester.
No.
That's gone off my list of recommendations. But whilst I was in Manchester, we had a nice time going around drinking, and Cloudwater Brewery have moved to a larger premises, it seems, because they weren't where I thought they were, but they're around the corner now on an industrial estate. You can't tell that it's there until you get right up close to the door and realise it's there. But Cloudwater Brewery, go and check it out and have some nice beers there. I would recommend. Okay, next week it's Alan. We haven't spoken to Alan for ages.
No, I was thinking that.
He hasn't been on since the first since the first week of the season, I think.
I missed that one, so that's why I feel like I haven't heard him for ages.
So last time you heard him was when we all did the season preview show together.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Alan's back next week, so we'll look forward to that. People can find and share the show on social media platforms. That's always really appreciated. At Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram is where you can find us. Facebook.com/Super League Pod as well. There, if you want to send us an email to tell us about anything, if you're not on social media, then superleaguepod@gmail.com is where you can do that. Superleaguepod.com is where you'll find our blog post that'll have all the details of the episodes and the episode sponsors that I'm just about to run through as the show sponsors, that I'm just about to run through as well. To listen to the show, if you're not satisfied with however you've stumbled across this time around, or just want to make sure you subscribe and leave comments and likes and all that sort of stuff on these platforms as well, you can get the show on Spreaker, iTunes, Leaguecast Android app, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, RugbyLeagueMedia.com and YouTube. We want to call out a thanks to our partner sponsors before we say goodbye again this week. So, Rob's Toy Shop, if you enter SLP discount at checkout on Rob's Toy Shop on eBay, you can get 5% cashback on orders over £5, plus give 1% cashback to SLP. Little Warden, who were the title sponsors of this week's episode, head to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you. And Mascot Browns for all your international rugby league gear. If you use our link in the episode blog, then we get 8% of your order value to help with our running costs. I'm not quite sure where Steve's up to on that. I know that he's been away on a rock and roll cruise recently. Sounds exciting. So I'm sure he's going to get back on that now for us. You can also make donations to support SLP if you prefer to do that way. PayPal.me/SuperLeaguePod. All donations we get a hugely appreciated, large or small. If you donate £20 or more, you can pick from an SLP t-shirt or an SLP beanie hat as a thank you gift for your donation. I think that's all we've got this week, Sarah.
Yep.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you for being involved again, Sarah. Sorry that it was a swift return to talking about Hull FC defeats for you, but if it makes you feel any better, I'm talking about Wigan defeats week in, week out at the moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
That makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does make me feel better. So.
And twice a week. Because I've been on Wigan Fan TV a few times recently. Why don't you get yourself a Hull version for you to go on?
Well, I don't like the idea of TV.
Fair enough.
Everyone could see what I was doing when I was recording then.
It's not necessarily what you're doing as much as what the people in the background in your busy house are doing, maybe some of the times.
They're all in bed.
Excellent.
Well, actually, Peter's not.
Right, well, thanks anyway, Sarah. It's been great having you back. I think we'll speak to you at some point in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully when the new season for the Mountain Warriors is underway. And thank you to everyone again for listening to this week's episode of the Super League Pod. Are you okay? Did you get your brew?
No, I didn't get my cup of tea.
I said have a break and go and get one?
Luke, do you want to make me a cup of tea before you go to bed?
You're not recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. So the whole world is going to know that I've asked for you to make me a cup of tea, yeah?
That or Mark's going to cut it out.
You think Mark's going to cut it out?
No.
I think Mark's going to put it right on the back end of the show.
Definitely, maybe.
Okay, thanks. Love you. Peter just told Luke not to disturb me.
He's just been told off for you asking him to make you a brew?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, he deserves that for not making you a brew sooner.